Hi everyone, it's Mike with Slater & Sons. Today I'm going to show you how to hang a wall-mounted TV. Here's what you need to install the TV. In my case, I'm going to use an impact driver. You can use a drill. I even have a screwdriver here just to slowly tighten the bolts in the back of the TV so don't strip out anything. You'll need a good level. In my case, I'm going to use cabinet screws. They do come with lag bolts in most kits, but unless you pre-drill that lag bolt, you're more likely to end up splitting the stud and having problems later on. A good stud finder, or you can use the knocking method. And if you cannot find a stud, more likely in older homes with plaster and lath, I suggest these toggle bolts. You can get them at most hardware stores. They act kind of like a zip tie. You turn them and push them in through the hole that you have to drill. You have to drill a 1/2 inch hole, and then you zip tie it close to it. They're not going to move around. If you unscrew it, they're not going to fall through the wall, and they hold a lot of weight too, so you can get by with 4 of these for most modern TVs. I'm going to get started with the back of the TV. This particular TV brand is a TCL. It's a 50 inch. Most of them are going to be pretty much laid out the same. They're going to have 4 holes to attach the arms to. This particular one has 2 screws plugging the 2 holes. But the only thing that's going to be a little bit different on some TVs maybe is where your HDMI port will plug into, and that'd be the only thing you'd have to change on how you do this. The kit comes with these spacers. I know in particular some Samsungs are plugging in from the back, so then they're a little bit harder to get that HDMI cord to fit in the back. But other than that, it's just the 4 holes that you have to worry about, and just finding the right length screw in this packet. So I'll show you the packet on this one. There'll be different sizes as far as thicknesses and lengths typically. On this kit, they just give you 4 different sizes. These are the lag bolts I also mentioned earlier, that you can use them when in a pinch. I recommend not. I'd rather just use the self-drilling cabinet screws. They're meant to hang cabinets, so they're overkill really for a TV of this size, even for a 50 inch. These are the 4 holes I was talking about earlier that you're gonna mount your arms to. So to begin, I'm gonna try to find the right size screw, which I'm gonna try this one. All right, that's the right one. And like I mentioned before, I'm going to install the spacers just to give me a little extra clearance. Since they come with it, I might as well use it. Now I do suggest using just a regular screwdriver for the back of the TV. You don't want to ruin the TV or having to pull the whole TV apart just to get to these nuts that are behind the plastic. It's just a little bit more reassurance. Next, I am going to see at what height I'd rather hang this. So 2 things to look for are going to be first off, which ones line up, so you can see the hole lines up in the bottom one and the arm doesn't stick below. That's a good height for that, and that way your heavier part is actually aligned with the top hook that goes onto the plate. So I'm going to install that one. So that'll be 1, 2, 3 up from there. So I'm going to put your screw in first. Important thing is to remember that these need to be level. This will determine if your TV is level, not only with the wall plate on the wall, which we're going to use a level for, but if these are up one hole from the other, then obviously your TV is going to be a little cockeyed on the wall. And reinstall these set screws. These adjustments here just allows the TV to tilt forward and back. And just make sure that you install them facing out. That way they're just accessible when you have the TV up on the wall. So to get started with mounting the wall plate, we're gonna have to take the measurement from the bottom of the TV to where the hook actually mounts on top of the plate. So this measurement here is gonna be about 13.5 inches. Just to explain this, I'm gonna show where the TV actually mounts onto the plate. So what you're doing is mounting this to the wall. Obviously, this lip here is going to be what's sticking out for the TV to hang on to. So that lip goes right up into that a little bit of a J hook, I guess you can call it. And that's why we need the measurement from here. So when we measure this, we're gonna measure on the wall. I want the TV to be 13 inches off of the base of the cabinet. So we're gonna measure 13 inches from our measurement from here to here. So we're gonna add the 13.5 inches to that. So the top of our plate should be at 26.5 inches from the top of the cabinet, just to make things easier. You want to find the center of the cabinet you're hanging the TV over, or the wall that you're gonna be hanging it on as well. So my overall length, 6 foot. So 3 foot's gonna be right in the middle. So we're gonna get that, do a little mark on the wall. And like I said earlier, I wanna hang this at 13 inches above the cabinet. So 36 is right here. We're just gonna do a rough measurement, a rough eyeball. Once the TV is on the wall, you do have a little bit of side to side movement you can do. Usually about 6 inches, so we don't have to get perfectly exact. So from here to here, we're gonna measure straight off here. This is where we want the bottom of our TV to sit right there. And at 26.5 inches is where we want the top of the wall plate to be. So I can do that just to give me a little bit of an eyeball. Measurement there. And like I said, this isn't perfect. We're gonna bring it back with the level just to make sure. So here's our first stud, just to make sure. And also do the knock test. So you can hear the drywall won't bounce as much through there compared to the hollow spot. So hollow, solid. So we'll mark our stud. We got lucky, it was right about there. Since we know where one stud is, I'm going to measure over just to get a rough idea. So we should be somewhere right in here. I should explain that the house is framed. This is the typical framing standards are going to be at 16 inches on center. Now you may have a house that's on 24 inch on center, but typically they're going to be 16 inch on center, especially on just a regular interior wall. So just to confirm that we found our second stud, we're doing the knock test. So we go right in here, mark the center of this, just to make sure we're centering the wall. And as usual, Gunner's right by my side, help me with every move. Thanks, Gunner, for all your help. So I have my center mark on the wall lightly, you can see here. So I'm gonna eyeball to where that needs to be, so the top of our bracket needs to be around these line marks. I'm going to put my level on it in a minute here. So I know that I'm going to get a stud here and a stud here, so I can always slide this down just a little bit and make sure I have a bite on both of these studs here. I have a stud right here and right here. Just doing another knock test. So my end of my stud is right here, so I'm gonna draw another. I like to go by the knocking method. Seems to be a little bit more solid. Now, unfortunately with plaster and lath, you will have to have a good stud finder or another method to actually accurately tell if you have your stud there. Unfortunately, when you do the knock method on a plaster and lath, the solid feeling you can be hearing is just another lath piece on there behind the plaster. The plaster itself is a little bit thicker than drywall. So some of these wall plates actually come with a level bubble on them, which is great because you don't have to balance a level and line everything up and all that either. So slide this over to get our holes lined up better. So we are at a level right there. Now the good thing about mounting a TV is if you mess up a hole, you have a big TV covering the hole. Now I added these washers that came with the kit, just as a little bit more security to know that nothing's gonna pop off of here. These heads on these screws, unfortunately, are a little bit too small for the openings for this wall plate. You may be able to find a bigger cabinet screw. I know I have other ones that I've used in the past that are big enough, but unfortunately the hardware store I went to, they didn't have what I needed exactly, but with the washer, this will keep anything from popping off. So I'm gonna plug in the power cord before I hang it. I'm also gonna plug in the HDMI cord. Now we're just gonna lift it onto the wall after our connections are made. And the last thing with the install is just to tighten your screws up. Try to get the best angle I can. Now the goal is to not, you don't have to fully tighten it, you're just trying to keep it from being able to pop off the wall. Thanks for watching Slater & Son. For more videos like this, please like and subscribe. Hope to see you soon.